listening to Unpause Your Life with Dr. Cali Estes and Master Coach Jenny Fontana, founders of the Life Coach Method. Each one of our uplifting and deep dive episodes is geared to help you tackle the things that hold you back from having the most magnificent life you deserve. Sit back, relax, and prepare to be coached.
Hey guys, welcome to Unpause Your Life. This is Dr. Cali Estes, and my guest today is Aaron Rubio of UCAN. Not I can, but UCAN. Welcome, Aaron. Tell us all about UCAN, what it stands for, why you came up with this idea, and how you figured out this type of name.
Gotcha. I shall. So one, I appreciate your time and the invite to come aboard. Always a fan of your movement that you have in this world. So all good. Yes, UCAN, United Community Addiction Network. It happens to tie in with our mission, our vision, and everything we're involved in with an acronym, because everything is acronym in today's world, of UCAN. And yes, we slide that in so many ways. To inspire, right? So that's how that came. Kind of just came out of nowhere, other than looking for an acronym, looking at some of our wording of what our mission and our vision is with community and networking and uniting, and we're in the disease of addiction. Just messing around and happened to stumble upon UCAN. So it's been funny, and everybody does what you say. I like that UCAN. You know that you can use that. We know that we can. It's funny. So that's all good, right? So yeah, from there, we on the daily, we're in the jails, in the hospitals, inside of emergency departments, working with law enforcement. So we go all over the board. I don't know where to start with you, but you tell me.
So I see on your logo it says Canine Detection Team. What is that? What does that mean?
Okay, so canine detection. This is one of our things. When UCAN looks at an initiative to put their time, effort, and energy into, we look at needs and gaps in services, right? So one of the needs, gaps that I felt that was there in our board, obviously felt too, because we have 2 canines, 3 canines now, is whenever somebody, we would get a lot of people, place them in treatment, right? And they would get to treatment, and we'd tell the parents, the loved ones, hey, so everybody's in treatment, good. And they'd be like, oh, we're so glad that they're there. And we were too. But inside of those walls, there's drugs, right? And so for some reason, in this world of jail, prison, treatment facilities, houses, we don't take that next step with canine detection to put it to use, right? So it's kind of one of those things that I thought I'd like to do that, implement that, and then we can gauge, willing participants to take our pro bono service that we offer. And we do a lot of, we do all the facilities here in Genesee County. We do a few in Oakland County. We go up to some in our Sanilac, Tuscola area and do some searches of schools and just different areas. So it's quite diverse where our canine team goes at that point.
That's awesome. That's unique because a lot of people don't have that. So it's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
Tell me about this prison initiative. What are you doing in the prisons? What type of work are you doing? What's the plan? What does that look like?
Yeah, you mean with the Addictions Academy and you, or what we do with our Beyond the Walls? I'm
What
sorry.
you do with Beyond the Walls. Let's start
Okay,
there and then we'll roll into what we do.
okay, I got you. Beyond the Walls is an initiative we have inside the jails here locally that we do. And the focus of that is to educate, provide resources to help inmates with a successful integration into society. There's a lot of things they miss in that journey that they could be preparing for while incarcerated. So some of our initiatives, working with the sheriffs and working with the jail deputies and such, and implementing some programming, it's all about creating a pathway for successful integration into society is the goal. It goes a lot of ways with mental health, medical assisted treatment, primary care physician. Do you have your ID? Do you have your social security card, your insurance, etc.? But it's all part of a plan. When you make a plan for discharge, then at least you have a plan. Not that's going to work for sure, but you got a plan. Because if you don't have a plan, you're planning to fail, right? We know that. So that's the heart behind the Beyond the Walls initiative. It's getting some good traction. We do a lot of things, and we're only looking for bigger and better as time comes.
And for the Addictions Academy, you teach the prison reentry class. Tell me
Yeah,
about that and what
yeah.
you're doing with that.
Yeah, so that is kind of the same thing, only bigger, national, right? A bigger presence, but it's also educating those who kind of do what I'm doing on a smaller level. So on your level, at the Addictions Academy level, we're actually able to work with people that work with the population being released and kind of educate them with our same similarities that we have with the prison reentry of getting them with a successful integration in society, getting them their proper resources, providers, all the tidbits that they need to have a successful launch into society.
So let me ask you, what was your vision behind UCAN? What made you want to do this? Are you in recovery? Do you have family members that are in prison and addiction? Or what made you want to get into this?
Yeah, so Dr. Kelly, I was introduced to the disease of addiction. Man, it's been about a decade ago now, even a little more, 2013. So even a little more. And for my immediate and my extended family. And I realized a lot of things. Wow, what the impact that has on an individual's life. Wow, life changing. I felt the impact that it has on the family dynamic. Wow. I'm like, wow, this destroys families. I knew right away that the families are the collateral damage to the disease of addiction, right? And then trying to navigate loved ones to treatment, co-insurance, copays, deductibles, lead times, all the things that go with it. For a person just being introduced to this disease, it was like, wow, let me just take you to the hospitals because they're my healthcare that I'm aware of. 3 healthcare systems in our area. None of them were of any value when it came to this disease, right? And so it was, there's a lot of stigma, a lot of rhetoric, a lot of things because they deal with the population, but just not proactively. And there's a lot of friction, if you will, between clinical and community when I was introduced to this, right? And so, yeah, so that was a mess. And then schools don't want to talk about it. Jails can't sentence our way out. Judicial system can't sentence our way out. All of these people that talk about it and realize the impact of substance use disorder, but weren't doing anything about it. So that kind of created that passion that kind of helped me to say, okay, listen, this is not a new disease. This has been around a long time. And I can't believe that this is the caveman approach we take to this. So just kind of inspired to like, okay, that's where the networking comes in. I know I'm not a person that could do it all. It's all about networking, right? So analyze the system, identify needs and gaps and services, bridge those gaps as needed, and build a network and keep. The goal was to not only make a difference against the disease of addiction, but a true movement. Like things are happening in a different way now with the impact we've created. And we have a couple of initiatives where that is exactly going to be the case futuristically that we're really excited about.
Would you share any of those with us? Or are those all private and ready to be
Ooh.
unrolled in a red carpet manner?
Okay, so I will share one with you that's really, really cool. So we have our mobile crisis unit. And we're inside the hospitals now because I told you they were of no value. Now they are of value. They're a strategic partner, right? And so we have our mobile crisis unit and we have what's called our B team. It stands for buprenorphine, kind of a funny thing, but Dr. Danik, great guy, chief of staff now at Henry Ford, and he is at this location in Genesis here. And we have our mobile crisis unit. He's part of the B team. He leads the B team. And now we have new ways to identify, treat, stabilize, and discharge this at-risk population inside of the hospital setting. So whether UCAN is there or not, there's standards of practice being changed and implemented to help this population. Our B team, our mobile crisis unit, we go in when we're identified if somebody is at risk of substance use disorder, and the first thing we do is manage their withdrawal symptoms. First thing we do, we stabilize them so they won't leave and feed to the stigma of they're going to leave and they'll be back in 2 weeks. Yeah, because we didn't treat their symptoms, right? So it's all we do. Nothing about their health care, nothing about x-rays, nothing about nothing other than we are your withdrawal management. And then when prepping for discharge, that's where UCAN comes in. UCAN provides that community care navigation to those patients, and we get them connected, again, to any resources in the community that they need, whether medical assisted treatment, primary care physician, a mental health journey, whatever it may need. So that's the part that UCAN plays in that. And that's, again, one of those things that is only growing. Henry Ford just came into town since, about last October, and we have some good things in planning for a healthcare system to proactively implement a medical assisted treatment team and infiltrate their whole healthcare system with it, which is a pretty good healthcare system in Michigan. So we're excited about that to come.
Wow, that's excellent.
Yeah.
So it
Good.
sounds like you've got a lot on your plate. You've got a lot going on. What do you think is your biggest challenge?
Uh, our biggest challenge, I believe, we face is getting people to understand that when dollars and cents come in and they're thwarted out by the millions and the billions to focus on substance use disorder, that we focus that money goes to people and places that are making an impact and doing things, and it's accounted for, right? We hear all this opioid settlement money coming to the state of Michigan. Great, and we get it, and who gets it, and what do they do, and how's it going, and all these things. It's kind of loose. I think sometimes when we throw a bunch of money at something, just do what you guys can do, we kind of lose a focus. I think that's one of our biggest things is I appreciate the money, I appreciate the settlements, I appreciate everything coming to help. But if it's not organized and structured, I don't know that. I mean, we've been spinning our wheels a long time on this. So, but getting again back to a healthcare system like a Henry Ford Health Systems, saying yes, we like the idea of this clinical community approach, right? Clinical, stabilize, treat, provide, prescribe, and then community to provide those elongated services, right? With the medical assisted treatment, all those things to join forces. That's a sign of great things to come. Now, here's what happens. Healthcare says, how does this make money? Right? Healthcare says, how do we make money? So if some of these millions and billions were given to a healthcare system who has the talent, the bandwidth, and the staff to be able to handle such a thing, I think the use of those dollars and cents would be well received in healthcare, right? And I guess because I'm focusing on that, but Department of Corrections, treatment facilities, housing, all the avenues that we're associated with all could have some allocated dollars to help make a difference. So I guess that's my long answer to your short question. My biggest barrier I feel will be that this funding continues to fall in the right hands and progress is made against the disease of addiction.
I like the thing that you said about everybody working together. You have treatment centers, you have, hospitals, you have boots on the ground, you have all these people working together
Yep.
because at the end of the day, it's all a business for all of them. So if it doesn't suit their bottom line, even though the business is people and helping people, they're not going to give the quality of care that you're looking for because their bottom line isn't being met. So it
Right.
makes sense. If you have all these dollars coming into a state, where are they going? Who is getting them? And I know this is a little bit off topic, but if we look at like the ASPCA or the American Cancer Society, that's always raising money, very, very little actually goes to saving the animals or curing cancer because we'd cure it by now with all the money we had, right? All the C-suite get paid, all these, big TV ads, et cetera, et cetera. Why aren't the people receiving the services? Which I think we're going to start finding out now with the new political powers in play. We're going to figure out where's the money going, and
We're on
who needs
that
the money
journey.
and how do we help the people as opposed to just sending a bunch of money to the state and saying, well, policymakers can decide. Let's actually have a designation. This comes into the state, it's strictly for boots on the ground hospital or prison reentry. And I think if we to your point, if we do that, we will see a better return on our investment, which is our taxes, that people are actually getting the services that they need that they cannot afford. So you're doing that kind of work, and it's awesome. I got to applaud you for that because it's hard work.
I appreciate that. And you've been part of that journey, back in the day and that type of stuff. So nice to integrate with you on the national prison reentry side because we're ready for that next level, the next step. And I think the country is ready for the next level, next step when it comes to rehabilitating Department of Corrections, second chance works type stuff. So yeah, I think it's a good time. I think good things are ahead. It's just time always moves very slow when it comes to change. So patience, right?
True. And it's good to see that, we're looking at end results. I think it took, what we have now. So many people are homeless and so many people are on Skid Row in LA and Kensington, Philadelphia is a disaster. And we're seeing all these TikTok and Instagram stars going down in there, videoing it. So we know it's real. We know it's happening. And now as taxpayers, we're questioning where's our money going? We're paying all this money every year for all these things. Why do we have homelessness? Why do we have a drug addiction problem? Why do we have a prison problem where people come out with no skill set? People don't think about it. My late husband had 24 felonies and 16 misdemeanors over the course of his 52 years on the planet. And when he came out and he had no resources. He couldn't get a job. No one would hire him. He still had some issues with drugs. He didn't know where to go. And it's very similar when someone comes out, they don't know what their services are. We
Yeah,
don't know what their services are half the time. Prison reentry class shows you what the services are and how to find them, which is awesome. But it's how to get somebody back on their feet because it's designed for them to fail, not succeed, right? You
absolutely.
come
It
out
is.
and they give you $100. What are you going to do with $100? Where are you going to go with that? Who are you going to stay with? And if you don't have resources, you end up homeless and then committing crimes to eat and survive, and you go back into prison.
Right.
And
And I think, Dr. Kelly, to your point is that's what develops the institutionalized mentality. And what I mean by that is I've worked inside the jails for a long time and dealt with hundreds of people, right? And there's a group of them that say, when I get discharged, I lie, cheat, steal, couch surf. That's what I do. And when I get caught, I take a deep breath and relax because I have a roof over my head, I have food, I have hygiene, and I know how to survive in that world. Because when I get released, I don't know how to survive in that world or where to even start because I've never been down that road. So that you're exactly to the point. I had a guy tell me he was really, I mean, literally sweating, and this was last year, and he's like, I'm like getting this because he's getting. I had my class on Mondays. He was getting out on Thursday. He was literally in a sweat, fearing leaving Thursday. We had a plan created. He just had to execute it, but he was going up north. He's going like 3 hours away to his grandparents. So I wasn't able to be a hands-oner. And he said, all I know is if this doesn't work, whatever I do next will be big enough that I don't have to go through what I'm going through. I don't want out again. That is institutionalized mentality, and it kind of fuels what we do. Like, man, I even gave this guy a plan and he's thinking that way. Imagine how we and so far he's 11 months clean, doing
wow.
what he can do, got a job, and just living simple right up north. And he said, I don't go look for excitement, I don't go look to hang out. I just kind of, like you said, find myself, live simple. And he said, it sounded to me when you would say that and when I was in jail, like that is virtually impossible. But now I realize when I work at it, it's all possible. Those are the things that kind of give us the wind in the sail to keep pushing and developing these programs.
Well, think about it. If I said to you, I'm going to give you free housing, you don't have to pay it. Three hots, you're going to get three hot meals a day, a place to sleep that's comfortable. It might be a little loud, it might be a little bright, but it's comfortable enough that you're not out in the elements, you're not freezing, you're not sweating to
Yeah.
death. You're going to get a nice shower. It may only be 5 minutes a day, but you're going to get a shower. I'm going to give you soap and shampoo and a razor, and you get everything you need.
Just don't drop it.
And you can hang out. You can exercise in the yard. You can hang out with your friends. You can play dominoes. You can play cards all day, watch TV. Or, Aaron, you could go out in the world and work your ass off. Hope you can make the rent. Hope you can feed yourself. Hope you can shower. And if you lose your job and you're completely fucked, you got to get up and do it again. That's two choices, Aaron. What would you pick?
Yeah.
I mean,
It would lead to the crisis we're in.
yep. And the thing is, and I started my career at SCI Rockview. So I started my career in a prison. And the
Okay.
one thing I noticed was there are no services. It's not designed for them to get better or learn a trade. It's designed for them to fail. So they come back, and in the US, we make money on them. If you look at Sweden's program or Portugal's program, they are thriving because they teach them something. They take them outside, they teach them how to garden, they give them fresh air. They say, hey, we don't want you here. We want you in the world being a productive taxpayer, which makes sense to me, not housing you, making $3 a day off of you.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And there's been an evolution to those services, right? And it's getting better. I know in some prisons here in Michigan, there are a handful, maybe like 3 of them that proactively uh, have services for rehabilitation for the trades, the union trades, and different culinary and different things, which is great, right? And again, our Beyond the Walls initiative with what we do, man, we're in line now with all the union heads of the electrical, the carpenter, HVAC plumbers. We are in the pinnacle of about to formulate a national program that will be a national addiction funnel, shall we say, to the union trades. Anybody who I come across in the jails, in service or whatever, we can funnel them to here. And they got employers, they have trainings, they have places. Our biggest hurdle there is where they're going to live during this training process, right? So we're strategizing with an organization that they build houses with the union hats. Can we build a dorm on it? I mean, again, we get bigger and we go on, and then I got to realize, like, hey, but you got to stay in your lane. I like the unions, I like the trades, and get that going. It's a help for my people, but I can't go too far that way, right? I got a job to do here. So, but it's been about a year and a half in the making, but that will be a really, really great program, and it's a national program, so it'll be really cool.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. That's awesome.
Yeah, it'll be good.
So tell our listeners where they can find you. If they need help from UCAN or they want to take your prison reentry class, where can they find the great Aaron Rubio?
Yeah, for sure. So UCAN, UCAN, UCANMichigan.com is our website. UCANMichigan@gmail.com is my email address for any questions somebody may have, right? We have a lot of cool things on our website. You'll see our initiatives on there. There's a really cool tab. It's a Get Help Now. And if somebody clicks on that, wherever they are, that'll click on it, we'll get a notification. And we say within 24 hours, but usually within about 30 minutes, somebody from our team has reached out to the person who's cued that they want help. Are you in a safe environment? What's going on? How urgent is your need? What do we need? What service are you looking for? Type thing. So that's right on our website as well. And Facebook, United Community Addiction Network on Facebook. And so that's a great tool to like, share, and follow, and share a silent message to those in people's network. So we really like that tool. We're on Instagram. We're on X, all the other platforms pretty much, and kind of evolving. So yeah, website is best.
Awesome. I'll put all that in the show notes for anybody that wants to reach out to Aaron or take his class at the Addictions Academy. You can find it on theaddictionsacademy.com or directly with Aaron. And I thank you for listening, and thank Aaron to coming on today. I appreciate your time. It's been a long time coming to get you on here.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Kelly. I appreciate you, your efforts, and what you do, and happy to be part of your team and share some info that we're doing.
Awesome, and we are glad to have you. And you guys have been listening to another episode of Unpause Your Life with Dr. Cali Estes.
Thank you for listening to Unpause Your Life with Dr. Cali Estes and Master Coach Jenny Fontana. Head over to www.thelifecoachmethod.com to learn more about coaching yourself and how to become a master coach.